Welcome to Wawa Wire. Today we're talking about Namewee's self-surrender to the police. And this wasn't just, a quiet procedural step happening behind closed doors.
No, not at all.
We're looking at something that unfolded very publicly, quite strategically, just after midnight. A really high-profile figure walking right into the Kuala Lumpur Police Headquarters, voluntarily.
Right. And the question really is, why do it this way? Why this very specific, very visible approach? It's clearly sending a message.
Definitely. What's the underlying message there?
Well, I think it boils down to accountability, or at least the appearance of accountability, especially when you consider the context. There's a serious investigation underway, right, linked to this alleged case.
Yeah, that's the background here.
And for anyone listening, the main point is this isn't some minor issue. It's significant legal scrutiny tied to a serious case, one involving a deceased person's family seeking answers. So accountability is key.
The stakes are incredibly high then. Legally, yes, but also in the court of public opinion. Which brings us back to how he surrendered. The details, the timing, the location, even how he documented it. It almost reads like a planned event, not just showing up.
That's a good way to put it, a planned event. Let's look at the time, 1:10 a.m. Okay, why so late? Or early, I suppose.
Right. If you wanted zero attention, maybe there are quieter ways.
Exactly. But arriving then, in the dead of night, it kind of guarantees the story breaks with the morning news cycle. It lets his version, the I'm cooperating voluntarily angle, get out there first.
Instead of waiting for daytime cameras and maybe a less controlled scene.
Precisely. He gets ahead of the narrative, rather than letting others frame it later, perhaps less favorably.
And the arrival itself wasn't low-key either. He didn't just slip in with a lawyer.
No, he arrived at police headquarters with, well, an entourage, 3 separate cars, friends, associates maybe.
It changes the visual, doesn't it? Turns a legal step into almost a show of support.
It really does. Instead of looking isolated, maybe cornered, he looks composed, supported, like he's there on his own terms. It minimizes the image of being caught. He's the one reporting in.
And this focus on image, on the optic, it leads straight to that moment that just took off online. He's there, 1:25 a.m., right at the door, talking with officers, doing the paperwork. But just before going in.
He takes a selfie.
He takes a selfie. Right there, outside the police station. Looks pretty calm, too.
That selfie is, well, it's fascinating, isn't it? It's such a calculated move. On one side, it projects confidence, maybe even a bit of defiance, like, see, I'm here, not hiding.
Yeah, telling his supporters he's not afraid.
But then for critics, or especially for the family involved in the case, it could seem really tone-deaf, trivializing something very serious. It's a risk.
But does it serve a strategic purpose? Like, document his own compliance in real time, setting his own record straight from the start.
I think it absolutely does. He's got his own visual proof of his demeanor, the circumstances. If later there's any dispute about how things went down, he has his initial image out there. He used his own platform to counter any other potential narrative.
Controlling the first impression. In today's world, that first picture often sticks.
And he made sure it was one showing self-possession, not distress. It's preemptive narrative shaping.
Okay, so let's connect the visual stuff, the selfie and the arrival, to what he actually said. His public statements about cooperating. This wasn't spontaneous, right? It was clearly planned.
Oh, definitely prepared. And the preparation itself was highlighted. He made a point of saying he'd traveled all the way from Johor Bahru specifically for this meeting in Kuala Lumpur.
That detail about the journey, why emphasize that?
It underlines his intent. It shows he's taking it seriously, investing time and effort. It wasn't just handled locally. He came to the headquarters. It signals commitment to the process, both to the authorities and the public.
And the commitment itself was stated very clearly. Fully assist the police investigation. That phrase seems important.
It's the standard phrase, yes. But saying it up front in a high-profile case is crucial to counter any narrative about obstruction or evasion.
But he didn't stop there. He specified who he felt accountable to.
And this is really interesting. He didn't just say the police or the courts. He specifically mentioned 2 groups, the public and, very pointedly, the deceased's family.
Okay, why single out those 2? What's the strategy behind naming the public and the family?
Well, it works on 2 levels, I think. Legal and maybe moral. Accountability to the public addresses the broader societal aspect, the laws, but specifically mentioning the family acknowledges the human tragedy at the heart of it all.
Right, it brings in the emotional weight.
Exactly. He's trying to maybe show empathy, show he understands the gravity beyond just the legal procedures. It's an attempt to connect on a human level, perhaps neutralize some of the potential moral outrage.
So it's managing the narrative, trying to establish a tone of seriousness and understanding right from the outset.
Precisely. And that flows perfectly into his next big point. Establishing this pattern of behavior, his history with law enforcement.
Yeah, he was very direct about that. I will not run away. Pretty blunt.
Very blunt. And then he immediately backs it up. He says basically, this is what I always do.
He claims this isn't new.
Mm-hmm.
He mentioned, 7 previous instances, arrest warrants, or similar actions against him in the past.
That number 7 is key. He quantified it. It makes the claim much more concrete. He's saying, look at the record. 7 times before, similar situations, and every single time I reported myself, I have never fled.
So he's building a case for his own character, essentially.
It's a powerful defense mechanism, really. He's using his, let's be honest, quite controversial past as evidence of his integrity when it comes to legal processes. I might be controversial, but I show up.
It aims to frame this current surrender not as something unique or forced by the situation, but as just the latest example of his standard operating procedure.
Exactly. If you're facing serious scrutiny, like in this situation, being able to point to a consistent pattern of voluntary cooperation, that's a strong counter-argument to any suggestion you're trying to evade justice now.
It's like saying, my past actions prove my current intentions are cooperative.
It inoculates him, or attempts to, against that image of being cornered. He's shaping an image of resilience and respect for the process, even while being a figure who often challenges the status quo.
That distinction seems important, challenging norms versus evading the law.
He needs that line to be clear. His whole public persona, his career, relies on being seen as a challenger, maybe a provocateur, but not as a fugitive. This public act of surrender reinforces that. He faces the authorities. He doesn't run from them.
Okay, so let's pull this all together. We have this high-profile figure under serious investigation. He chooses a very public, very orchestrated self-surrender. Late-night arrival, entourage, the selfie.
Right.
And combines that with a clear statement of cooperation, specifically mentioning the public and the family involved, and anchors it all in a claimed history of 7 previous instances of voluntary compliance.
It really shows us how, in today's media environment, especially with sensitive legal issues, managing the optics, managing the narrative from the very first moment is critical. This wasn't just about fulfilling a legal requirement. It was an exercise in public perception management.
The way he did it, the timing, the selfie, referencing the past, it was all designed to frame his interaction with the law on his terms. Control the story.
Ensure that the dominant initial takeaway is cooperation, self-possession, not guilt or evasion.
It really underscores that for public figures in these situations, the legal process and the PR process are almost inseparable now. They happen simultaneously.
Absolutely. It's a dual front. Which leads to a final thought, maybe for you, the listener, to consider. When a public figure goes to such lengths to document and publicize their compliance, does this kind of hyper-transparency, even if it feels a bit theatrical, actually serve justice? Or is it perhaps just a very effective way to manage perception and potentially deflect deeper scrutiny?
That's a really interesting question to ponder, especially as this case develops. Remember to like and subscribe for more videos like this.